You must do this, you mustn't do that, absolute rubbish. These rules are complete nonsense, but there is one that I definitely follow. Good morning and welcome to a beautiful off-road gravel ride this morning out in Essex along the Treadway up towards Braintree. I'm out with my buddy Jimmy, just the two of us this morning, and I absolutely love this route. I've no idea how far along the route we're going to get because, as ever, we've got time constraints and need to be back by a particular time this morning, but that's not going to stop us having fun, because the one thing about gravel cycling is that there are no rules, and that is what I love about it, because in road cycling it can be a little bit elitist, or seem that way sometimes anyway, and you can get a little bit bogged up in the rules. But as I say, no such thing with gravel. And that got me thinking about what the 10 most common rules in cycling are and why they're complete nonsense. And I'm going to tell you why Jimmy and I don't follow a single one of them. But before that, we need to actually get to the Treadway, so let's just enjoy some of these very bumpy off-road field trails. Right, well, we've made it to the Treadway, and very apt for this ride of not following rules. We normally turn left and go that way, but we've decided this time to turn right towards the start of the Treadway because neither of us have got any idea where it actually starts. So let's get to the start of it and go from there. No. Right, I think we've made it to the end of the line because I don't think there's much chance of getting through there, at least not with my bare legs anyway. Let's go back east, shall we? Right, so now we're on the Treadway proper, so we can start our 10 cycling rules that you can ignore because they are complete rubbish. And the first one is that you need a carbon fibre bike to be fast. And perfect example of this is Jimmy flying past me as I say that. Off he goes, can't stop him. If you watched my video from a few weeks ago where I built Jimmy a brand new gravel bike using a budget AliExpress frame, you'll know that that frame is aluminium, and that hasn't stopped Jimmy going fast. In fact, if you watched the following video to that, my Dirty Reaver ride, you'll know that Jimmy secured his nickname as the mountain goat by flying off at every chance he could. Whereas me, on my carbon fibre gravel bike, yeah, I was struggling at the back. So it just shows you that it has nothing to do with the bike, or at least very little to do with the bike, and more to do with how fit, healthy and strong you are on the bike. Because I'm sure if you took even one of the 70s or 80s pro racers on their steel bikes and pitted them against an absolute amateur or even an enthusiastic novice on a carbon fibre bike, yeah, the person on the carbon fibre bike is going to be eating dust. So while having a carbon fibre bike is very nice, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely not needed to be the leader of the pack. Number 2, never wear a backpack. Now, this is another reason why I love gravel cycling, because again, going back to the Dirty Reaver ride a couple of weeks ago, if you watched that video, you will have noticed a large number of people wearing backpacks or hydration packs on their back. So gravel cyclists have no issue with carrying anything extra on their backs, but road cycling seems to look down on wearing anything other than the tightest lycra, and sometimes even a seat post bag. Yes, I've had people tell me that the saddlebag ruins the look of the bike. But if you are gravel riding, or even if you're road riding and commuting, then wearing a backpack is absolutely no problem at all. And in fact, doing so might even make you a little bit more aero. And I say that because you may or may not have seen what looks like a completely ridiculous invention that's come out recently. The RAF or RAF blow up backpack. It's like a big white fin that goes on your back and makes you more aero apparently. I can't see me ever wearing one, but the point being that wearing a backpack might make you more streamlined and stop the air being so turbulent as it comes off the back of you. Ultimately, practicality wins out over aesthetics, so wear that backpack with pride. Number 3, you have to shave your legs. Now, I am the antithesis of this rule because I am probably the hairiest bloke you're ever likely to meet. But the truth is, having hairy legs or shaved legs is nothing to do with being aero, and the reason that the pros do it is so that if or when they have a crash, they don't have to worry about the hairs getting caught in the wound. It's a lot easier to dress a wound and for it to heal without hairs being involved. So unless you're a pro level cyclist or even a very serious amateur, there really is no need to go and get that bick out and go hairless. Embrace your inner gorilla. Number 4, you must always wear clipless pedals. Now, I was actually chatting to Jimmy about this one earlier before we started the ride, and you were saying that you never started with Clipless and you didn't see the point.
No, didn't do it for months. I remember when I first got into it, and my first sort of adult road bike, bought off a guy off eBay. I remember him putting it down off the shelf and saying, "You all right with the gears?" Like, yeah, I'm fine. Of course, when I get home and get on it, they were clicking, grinding, crunching. Point being, if you're new to it, especially, you've got enough to worry about with getting used to the bike without worrying about falling off and getting stuck in the pedals. And the pace you're going to go and the speed you're going to go, Clipless is fine for longer ride and going quicker, but you don't need it early on. Really don't. Enjoy the ride, get used to the bike, feel safe. That's all you need.
Yeah, and that also goes for the kit that you wear as well. It doesn't need to be skin tight lycra, padded here, padded there, and the ultimate wicking material. That stuff will help, absolutely, but as Jimmy said, when you're getting used to the bike, just get used to the bike. That is the most important thing when you start out. And another thing that Jimmy just pointed out is that when our mate Tom first started out on the bike and started Clipless pedals, unfortunately he did have a couple of falls. So while riding Clipless pedals can be a benefit, it's not the be all and end all, and it shouldn't stop you having fun on your bike. Number 5, and it's a good job that our mate Stu isn't here because he would have a lot to say about this one, and it's never stop mid-ride. Now I genuinely cannot understand this one because for me, riding a bike is synonymous with cafe stops, coffee, tea and cake. But there are a number of riding groups out there who just want a hammerfest, get going, get their ride done and get back. And fair play if that's what they want to do, but you absolutely don't have to ride like that. And again, stopping off for a nice break, chatting with your mates, taking the social element of cycling, that for me is what it's all about. So if you want to stop, stop. No one should be telling you not to. Talking of mid-ride stops, we've made it to the Booking Hall Cafe, but unfortunately it's not open. We're here too early. But as I said earlier, we've got a time constraint today, so unfortunately no waiting around. We're spinning back and doing the return leg now, but back on with the rules to be ignored. Number 6, and this one might be a little bit niche because it probably only really applies to people who are on a structured training plan and training towards something, maybe a race or a big ride. And the rule is that training without a power meter is useless. But again, that is not true, because as much as training with a power meter can be very handy, using old school metrics like RPE or rate of perceived effort, heart rate, or even just plain old consistency can tell you just as well if you're improving and by how much. So yeah, don't go spending out on an expensive power meter when you really don't need to. Number 7, don't wear pro kit. Now this is one rule I absolutely detest, because in the footballing world, no one would think twice about wearing their favourite team's kit to go to the game or even for a kick around in the park. So why should it be any different for cyclists? If you're a fan of Emirates Team UAE or Visma Lisa Bike, Alpecin-Deceuninck, Soudal Quickstep, whoever they may be, whoever you're a fan of, wear the kit. Show it off with pride. Lycra is Lycra. As I said earlier, you don't need to wear the right kit, in inverted commas, or Lycra at all. But if you are, then who cares what design's on it or what you're wearing? My son and I are huge Team UAE fans, mainly because of Tadej Pogacar. And my son absolutely loves wearing his yellow jersey Team UAE kit. So yeah, wear whatever you want. It's your ride, no one else's. Number 8, you shouldn't join a group ride unless you're strong enough. I mean, if you've watched any of my videos over the last 2.5 years, you'll know that we don't necessarily ride fast. Now, what I would say is that if you are going to join a group ride, you check out what kind of group it is before joining them, because there are a lot of groups out there that pride themselves on being absolute hammerfests. And if you're not up for that, then yeah, that's not fun. But there absolutely will be other groups in your area that just, like us, enjoy party pace, conversation pace, and a nice social ride. So whether you've just started out on a bike or you've been riding for a while but just don't feel strong enough, it really shouldn't stop you. There will be groups out there that will accommodate you and welcome you with open arms. Number 9, you must have a structured training plan. Now, fair enough, if that's what works for you, then go for it. But if you're the kind of rider that just prefers to get out and about when you can, you're short on time, and you can't always commit to going out every day or every couple of days at a particular time for a particular amount of time, then just go out when you can. If that's what keeps you consistent and keeps you enjoying the ride, then that's the most important thing. Because if you've not got anything planned, any big rides coming up that you're specifically training for, then pushing yourself to train might actually put you off cycling. Because as I've said many times before, cycling is, or should be at least, all about the fun. Keep it fun, keep it enjoyable, keep going out on your bike. And rule number 10 to be ignored, you must have all the most expensive kit to be taken seriously. Now there's two parts to this, two reasons why this should be ignored. Because one, my entire channel is built on the fact that you don't need the most expensive kit to get out on a bike, enjoy yourself and go on some epic rides. This gravel bike that I'm on is built using a cheap Chinese carbon fibre frame, and the whole thing cost me 1,200 quid, which for the spec it has on it is very cheap. But if even that is a bit too rich for your blood, then the gravel bike that Jimmy's on might be more up your street, because that frame is another cheap aluminium AliExpress one that cost just 85 quid. And the whole build, including a complete sandblast and respray, came in for under 500 quid. And if you didn't want the respray, you could build it for 380. So that's the first point. The second point is, who are we worried about being taken seriously by? If someone really cares that much about the kit that you're wearing and the bike that you're riding, well then I wouldn't really pay them much mind. As the old saying goes, those who matter don't care, and those who care don't matter. Ignore the naysayers, keep the money in your wallet and buy yourself a bike that suits your budget. Right, well that's my list of 10 cycling rules that you can absolutely ignore, but there's one rule that I definitely wouldn't ignore. But we're almost at the end of the trail now, so bear with me, I'll get home and we'll have another little chat about what that is. So there we go, 53 kilometers Garmin is saying, but I didn't quite start the Garmin when we first started this morning, so I missed out the first, I don't know, 6 or 7k, because I know that that route is 36 miles bang on. So yeah, I'm only showing 32, 33, so I missed the first couple. But that aside, what an absolutely incredible route and ride that was this morning. Absolutely love that Flitchway. And if you're down at this part of the world, if you're over in Essex, I can highly recommend it. But let's move on to my final rule that absolutely should not be ignored. And it's quite a simple one, and it's this: don't be an hole. Whether on the trail or the road, be polite, be courteous, say hello to people, more importantly, help someone with a punch out or other mechanical if you can, and yeah, just be nice. We all have to coexist, again, whether it's on the trails or on the road. So be it dog walkers, runners, other cyclists, or vehicle users on the road, we all have to get along together. So yeah, be kind, be nice, and as I say, most importantly, always say hello to your fellow cyclists. But let me know if there are any other rules of cycling that you choose to ignore because they are just plain BS. Sound off in the comments below, because I always love to read your thoughts. Right, so now that's done, I'm going to go and give this bike a proper clean. But I have to say, I absolutely love gravel. I have really fallen in love with it over the last year or so, having this bike. To think that this was built from a budget carbon fibre frame bought from a company called Seraph in China for 560 quid. Yeah, I think it's done pretty well, and I am very happy with it. So I'm off to give that a clean. But I hope you found this video enjoyable, and as ever, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Morning, 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 thank you. Morning, 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 thank you. Morning, thank you. Cheers. Morning, 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 thank you. Morning. Oh, you're all right.